Shout out to Roy Dixon who requested this video. Hope you're well, mate, and hope you enjoy this. Better late than never. Finally got it out. Hope you're going to enjoy, and the rest of you hope you enjoy. Please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts on the video and the fight itself. But thank you for watching. Enjoy. Jose Ramirez will shift his head over against the southpaw. He will look to slip to his right, to the opponent's left, to be on the outside of the 1-2. So you see here, he slips on the outside, but he allows Zepeda to pivot back round centre ring. So he has issues with this. He has issues with the jab and a touching jab, something varied, as Zepeda did throughout the fight. As he varies that jab, you'll see that he gets lazy, and then he starts to just drop his weight over to his right, and then it becomes a more and more lazy slip, to the point he's just dipping like that into the backhand. Now, against certain fighters who just throw straight lefts, he won't have as much problems. But cultured fighters who are able to jab, step a little, shift the angle, and see, will start to bring the uppercut or the hook into play. You see here, he consistently falls into the line of the southpaw left hand. This is due to balance, because he overreaches. This is due to poor positioning of his feet and his inability to close the range effectively. He really struggled against Zepeda throughout the fight, and he falls into that backhand. And if Josh Taylor can use that 1-2 and be varied with the jab while consistently controlling him, he'll be able to lead him on to a left uppercut or left hook down low. There's a few other things you'll notice, and I think that Josh can expose here. Centre ring, he rhythm steps as he exits. That's not a good look. He then tries to reach in. He did that throughout the fight. He struggled to close the distance on Zepeda. He doesn't move his feet in as he punches, and he gets impatient. You see how he sits up for that left hand, that 1-2. He's not defensively as proficient as I think someone with 2 belts should be. You'll see here how he steps out, straight line, chin in the air. I think if Josh looks to go to his body, keeps touching that midriff, changes levels, goes to the body, and then comes up high with an arcing type punch, I think he'll catch him, especially as he backs up with his chin in the air and hands down. Ramirez is particularly dangerous, is in the mid to short range. I just want to harp back to Ramirez and his defensive and his ability to go to the body, go to the head, down to the body, how he leans, especially when he goes body here and then head with the left hook. Vasquez against Taylor, good way of coming in low, little short shot, being able to engage you and trade over to his side into the left hook backhand. But he's dangerous in this position, and Taylor must watch out. He changes his level. He gets low, slips to the side, because he wanted to slip and counter, and he wanted to walk Vasquez onto that looping shot. That's a shot I think Saturday night can be key. Ramirez doesn't move his feet. He doesn't have his feet under him as he punches. They don't move in tandem. Maybe on Saturday night he'll prove me wrong. Maybe he'll come with a complete game and a change of technique, and it'll be super smooth and he'll glide into position. But from what I've seen, all I can do is go on what I've seen. None of it works in tandem, and he falls in. And if Josh is smart, he can walk him onto that shot, or he can walk him out onto that shot, because he exits high with his chin in the air, with his hands down by his side, with that rhythm step. And if Josh changes levels and goes to that body and loops it over to the head, I think he could be all good night for Mr. Ramirez. However, I've only got 15% battery. InShot's playing up. I've got no screen recorder, so all I can do now is show you images. Harp your mind back to the Ivan Baranchyk fight, or Ivan Baranchyk, however you want to say it. That fight saw Josh Taylor pick some absolutely beautiful shots up the solar plex with a choppy little left uppercut, come hook to the solar plex, to that midriff, right hook to the rib cage, left uppercut up through the seam, looping that left hook, and then and the overhand sort of haymaker shot that he was throwing, and then the right hook to the head to pivot. The change of foot speed, the change of tempo, the change of angles, the way he would pivot and then expose the midriff as the straight line Baranchyk came. Just like Ramirez. Ramirez might have the odd little... And listen, Ramirez has got some lovely shots on the inside. The left hook to the body. He can throw an uppercut off the backhand or off his lead hand. He can double it up. He can treble up off of his lead hand, I believe, when he goes to the body. Because that's when he has his balance, his feet under him, once he gets you in position. And that's the danger. That is the danger on Saturday night. Josh Taylor has often fought with his heart ruling his head. When Josh Taylor allows his head to rule his heart, I don't think there's many fighters that can beat him. I think he's that good. I think it would take an elite fighter to beat him. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see on Saturday night. I don't think José Ramirez is an elite fighter, to be honest, and I'll go into that in a moment. But for me, Josh Taylor, I think is technically better on the inside. And what I mean by that, as good as Ramirez is, he's more side on, he's more compact, and he picks different angles, and he's got his gloves in the right position. I believe he defends himself particularly fairly better than Ramirez. I think he's a bit more defensively responsible, but there are times in those small moments where Josh tends to drop his hands as he trades in that mid to short range, and that's where Ramirez can be dangerous. I believe you can expose him there, but he can dispose of you there, and that's what Josh Taylor's got to be careful of on Saturday night. Now, regarding the trainer change and stuff like that, look, I'm talking about a Shane McGuigan fighter. We're looking at a Ben Davison fighter tomorrow night. I've only seen the Ben Davison fighter for less than 2 minutes back in 2020 with the Kong Song fight. It's going to be very interesting to see how it all pans out on Saturday night. But for me, the one thing that concerns me, I've seen Josh throwing a lot of little choppy shots to the body. I like that. I like some of the stuff I've seen with him and Ben on the pads. He's always had his heart rule his head, as I've said, but Shane's been able to get him back round and get him focused this week. And yes, he has had fracas at weigh-ins and stuff like that, but it's concerning me. I'm just a little concerned that it's getting a bit much with the trainer. There seems to be a little bit of a lack of control. Then the aftermath of the weigh-in today. When it's all said and done, Ben's got to get hold of him tomorrow night, because there might be times in that fight. This fight could end early. And I say that because I think Josh can knock Ramirez out. But I know, I don't know. I believe Josh can knock him out. I know he can knock him out. I believe I know I've got a strong belief he can. Maybe I shouldn't say I know. Maybe I should just say I believe. But I believe that Ramirez can hurt Josh. And Josh has got to be aware of that. It's a tough fight. I think it's a tougher fight than what people are giving it credit. But I believe Josh Taylor can stop Ramirez. I think he's got more to his game if he performs the way I know he did as a Shane McGuigan fighter. I believe he can still do it with Davison. Well, I'm hoping so. Maybe I'm wrong. But 24 hours or less away. I'm looking forward to it. For me, this is the reason why I'm strong in my belief on Josh Taylor. I've always, since I first saw him, I thought this guy's going to be a world champion. I think he's an excellent fighter. I think when he moves his feet and he uses his boxing skills and he starts to put his shots together and he starts to chop away at the body, I think he's a hard man to beat because of that southpaw stance, the way he can move laterally, either side, the different angles, his little feints. I think he's just a level above Ramirez. But sometimes if you don't have your mind right, it can play its part and take a toll. For me, it's the level. Taylor's been fighting better fighters than Ramirez and dealing with them. Ramirez has been struggling against, I believe, fighters obviously that Josh has dealt with in Postal, but also against Zepeda. He struggled badly. It was a fight against the trainer who once trained him in Freddie Roach, and Zepeda was able to move around him, pivot around him. He's using a varied jab. He wasn't able to deal with that. He wasn't able to close the distance effectively. He was getting quite a long way into the fight before he was making any inroads. Maybe tomorrow night he'll turn the heat and we'll see the Ramirez that everyone believes in. I think this is a tougher fight than people are giving it credit, but I also believe that the show could end sooner than people give it credit too. I'm going for a Josh Taylor victory, but I think this is a tough fight. But please let me know your thoughts, your predictions in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.